Good evening and welcome to Left, Right and Centre, where we look at the stories behind the week's big headlines. I'm Nidhi Razdan. Tonight, as the Prime Minister comes under attack in the 2G scam, is he guilty of omission and inaction? Why is the Congress shying away from a joint parliamentary probe? And is stalling Parliament the only way to protest on this issue? Joining me on the show tonight is Congress spokesperson and Lok Sabha MP Manish Tiwari. From the CPM, we have Prasenjit Bose with us, the Bureau Chief of The Hindu, Siddharth Vardarajan. Also joining us shortly will be Chandan Mitra from the BJP, and Dushyant Dave, Senior Supreme Court Advocate, also joins us from Delhi tonight. The big focus, though, is the spotlight on the Prime Minister in the 2G scandal. With the Supreme Court asking some searching questions, it's probably the first time that a Prime Minister has been asked to explain something by submitting an affidavit to the court. Today, the new Telecom Minister Kapil Sibal lashed out at what he called misinformation against the PM, a man who he said is sensitive, a man who he said was decent enough to respond to Subramaniam Swamy's letter when he really wasn't obliged to do so.
I don't think that this country needs to hear the kind of things, about the Prime Minister's office, especially when the Prime Minister has been absolutely upfront about everything. In fact, on every letter, the Prime Minister himself has sought information. That's because he's a sensitive human being, apart from being the Prime Minister of India. He does not want his government to do anything wrong, and this government has proved it.
Meanwhile, instead of the Solicitor General Gopal Subramaniam, it will be the Attorney General G. Ivanpati who will represent the PM at the next Supreme Court hearing on Tuesday. Now, at the heart of the allegations against the Prime Minister is the following. The court wants to know why there was no response for 11 months to a letter by Subramaniam Swamy seeking sanction for the prosecution of Telecom Minister A. Raja. Mr. Swamy wrote his letter in November of 2008. The CBI registered an FIR in October of 2009, 11 months later. Mr. Swamy claims he sent 5 reminders but only got mere acknowledgements of his letters. The first formal response to him actually came in March this year by the Department of Personnel. What Kapil Sibal now says is that the Prime Minister wasn't legally bound to reply. Under the law, he can't grant sanction to prosecute without a proper investigation first. It simply can't be on the basis of Subramaniam Swamy's letter. Now, that Manmohan Singh is a leader of unquestionable integrity and honesty isn't in doubt. Nobody has suggested that he himself is directly involved in anything fishy. But by seemingly sitting over Swamy's request for sanction to prosecute Raja, that brings us to our first question tonight. Is the Prime Minister guilty by omission? My first question tonight is to Manish Tiwari. Then, Manish, it's unprecedented that a Prime Minister is asked to submit an explanation to the top court by filing an affidavit. Surely that is an embarrassment.
Well, first of all, let us understand very clearly as to what the Apex Court has asked the Prime Minister's office to do. The Apex Court has merely asked the Prime Minister's office to explain as to why sanction was not granted or a decision was not taken on Mr. Subramaniam Swamy's petition/representation. Without prejudicing the stand which the government is going to take in the Apex Court and without trying to second-guess it, may I just humbly submit that the whole process was misconceived to begin with. You see, the process is very simple, that if suppose you have a complaint against a public servant, you go and file the complaint under Section 190 of the CRPC.
That's a different issue.
That is the heart of the issue. After the court applies its mind and before it takes cognizance, the question of sanction comes in. So therefore, Mr. Subramaniam Swamy was trying to put the cart before the horse by wanting preemptive sanction. If Mr. Subramaniam Swamy had substantive material against Mr. Raja, he should have filed a complaint in court.
But Manish, my simple question, I'll come back to this.
Allow me to complete because this is important, because this is the heart of the matter. The court could have very well come to the conclusion that there is no sanction required because whatever Mr. Raja is alleged to have done has no nexus with his official position. So the question of sanction would have gone out of the window. So therefore, by not presenting the complaint before the appropriate forum, Mr. Subramaniam Swamy has just tried to put the cart before the horse.
That doesn't